Last week was Fire Prevention Week across the country, an event in which Lyndonville Fire Department took part in. One thing the department wants to remind people as Prevention Week has ended is the importance of checking your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in homes and buildings. The department wants to remind people the importance of checking the batteries and making sure they are working and that they are installed properly.
They do save your life. We have had several incidences just in Lyndonville here and in the state where working smoke detectors have saved several people's lives in buildings.
Kingdom Council on Aging is getting in the holiday spirit with their annual Winter on Summer Remembrance Celebration fundraiser. The celebration is a way for the community to gather together to remember those who have been lost in the 2018 year. People made donations in honor of those lost, and the United Community Handbell Ensemble made their annual performance at the event.
We've passed in the last year and gives us a little bit of a different opportunity to remember those that were loved and cared about who are no longer with us.
5 years ago, the nationwide Prosper program made its home here at the Linden Town School. In the fall, the program starts with a strengthening family session.
And the whole concept, the idea behind it is here at the Linden Town School, it's a really great way for families when they're entering into that middle school level. Everything's changing in life, for sure, absolutely. Your school teachers are changing, what floor the students have been on is changing. They're changing, a lot of dynamics are changing. So
how we can help family relationships get better and try to work things out between different parents and mostly have fun.
It's a way for students and their parents to learn and grow their relationships, but also for the youth to work on themselves.
There's topics, everything from around just youth really identifying what they want to be when they grow up and kind of sharing that with their families and thinking about, you have to map those steps to a lot of different types of communication between parents and youth, and also between youth and their peers.
The evening is presented in 3 parts: family dinner, then individual workshops for parents and students with facilitators. And at the end of the night, everyone comes together for group work.
Us to really talk with the kids, with the families, and talk about those hard topics like drugs, alcohol, peer pressure, and all those kinds of things. So hoping to really make a difference in families' lives.
Definitely the food, and that it's quiet, and you have your alone time to talk with your family.
One thing that makes the Prosper program different at the town school is that the facilitators are also teachers at the school.
It's just such a nice personal connection. We have teachers that teach in other grades who get to know the kids as 6th graders. And
it's a program that brings positivity to families and students' lives.
Sister, we usually fight a lot because we are very distant in ages, and so me and Telly come here so we can get along better, and so we don't fight.
Emma Quinn, News 7, Lyndonville.
And the Vermont State Board of Education came out with their final report regarding the statewide Act 46 initiative. On the final report was the proposed unification between Cabot, Twinfield Union, and the Danville school districts. The secretary from the board created a proposal for the schools in which they all became part of the Caledonia Central Supervisory Union and worked towards a unified school district in the years to come. The Danville and Cabot schools have been back and forth with trying to create a plan for Act 46 that everyone can agree on.
There was a lot of different, I think the key issue in those two merging is just different budgets. Cabot has decided to go with a project-based learning approach to high school. It's a great program. It's also a pretty small program. So I think that between the two towns, there was just a lot to figure out about the strengths of both schools, the budget challenges of both schools, and it seemed to be too much to bring both together right now.
The Vermont State Board of Education released their final report regarding Act 46. In that plan, Danville, Cabot, and Twinfield school districts are to be under one supervisory union, the Caledonia Central Supervisory Union.
I think there's a lot of potential for it to work. I think that once with separate boards and with separate budgets, I think that over time we'll start to realize how both programs could be complementary and could be assets to each other.
Cabot and Twinfield will join Danville and the Caledonia Central Supervisory Union on the effective date of July 1st, 2000.
A quiet place with a view. The Mountain View Farm Animal Sanctuary in East Burke is a place where neglected animals can come to find their forever home. But taking care of these animals doesn't come easy or cheap. News 7's Emma Quinn tells us why. In the fall, help is even more important.
A quiet place with a view. The Mountain View Farm Animal Sanctuary is a place where neglected animals come to find their forever home.
Our animals end up here from rescue and neglect situations. We take in animals that are also owner surrendered as well on a selective basis.
For these animals, finding a forever home also comes with a price. The nonprofit accepts donations year-round, but with the fall season, the need increases.
Yeah, as we're going into the winter, there's a lot of things that come up that we don't face in the summertime. The horses aren't out on grass eating grass, so they have to eat hay, which is a huge expense we have.
And those expenses add up, so the farm looks to the community for help.
We're always needing towels, blankets, warm fuzzy blankets or quilts. If an animal gets sick and they need to have some extra warmth, they're coming really handy. And injuries, we always need towels for injuries that unfortunately do happen.
And there's one fun item that can be donated that you may not know about.
The goats especially, and the donkey and sheep like to eat pumpkins as they're really good. They're very high in nutrition and they're also a natural dewormer.
So whether it's pumpkins, blankets, or cash, the farm says the help is always needed and always appreciated. Emma Quinn, News 7, East. The first ever Bluegrass Festival was held over the weekend at the Kingdom Tap Room, with high hopes of continuing to attract people to the downtown after the Kingdom of the Colors Festival.
Thing that brings people to our downtown, we want to be a part of. I mean, that's kind of the charge that we're leading.
The festival is also a way to showcase what arts the Northeast Kingdom has to offer.
There's so much amazing art, music, performance going on in the area, and there's not always as many great outlets as we'd like, and so if we can help to facilitate and provide some of those outlets and bring it right to downtown, then what could be better? And then of course the other great part is to have it free, because it's not easy for everyone to be able to afford this stuff.
It's a way for the owners of the tap room to share their love for bluegrass and the Northeast Kingdom.
There certainly is a taste for it around here. People are definitely into that type of stuff. And you don't see it as represented maybe as other musical forms.
It's an awesome place. I grew up here and love being down here and want to share that with other people.
A tradition with hopes to continue for years to come. Emma Quinn, News 7, St. Johnsbury. Democratic nominee for Vermont Governor Christine Hallquist was the special guest at the St. Johnsbury Rotary Club on Monday.
Please help me give a warm welcome to Christine Hallquist.
Hallquist had the opportunity to meet members of the Northeast Kingdom and speak with them about what led her to where she is today.
My life has been quite unimaginable, and I'll call it a miracle that I stand here today. But I recognize that the reason I stand here today is because of the thousands of Vermonters before me who fought for what is right and what is just.
One of the biggest goals on Hallquist's agenda, if elected, is to get Medicare for all and bring areas of Vermont the technology they need.
And so therefore, I will get fiber to every home and business in Vermont, fiber optic cable, so Vermonters can be connected at the same speed as the cities. And we'll rebuild our downtowns, just like we did in White River Junction and St. Albans.
And although President Donald Trump has made comments toward Hallquist's gender identity, she has a strong message for him down in Washington, D.C.
One more promise after the Kavanaugh hearings. I promise everyone I'm going to go out of my way to make Donald Trump feel very uncomfortable.
And Hallquist promises Vermonters that she will work hard in their favor.
Be a strong leader. I'm going to work hard for the Vermont I love, and it has loved me in return.
The NEK Aquatics team is making a splash coming into the new season.
We've got a bunch of new faces this year, new swimmers, new coaches. It's a very exciting time to be on the team and on the deck.
Working with the kids because it's a lot of fun. We can be silly and act like animals, or we can be serious, and I can be one of their worst enemies at a time, you know what I mean? And we can work hard, but we can still have a lot of fun, and in the end it's a really rewarding thing, not just for myself, but for the kids and for the parents.
And new swimmers are excited for the challenges the season has to offer.
I like get to swim with friends, and I like the feel of the water.
The team has some big goals set for the season, one of the most important being
Improvement, just improvement, and for the kids to have fun. That's the most important thing. I want the kids to have a great time, to want to be here, because if they don't want to be here, they're not going to want to improve.
the team is ready to take on challenges the season is to bring. Emma Quinn, News 7, Lyndonville.
Tonight is a really good night to be a Democrat.
The Democratic Party dominated the results on Tuesday night. The party won almost every statewide race except for the governor's seat, where Republican Phil Scott was reelected to a second term.
We fielded the largest slate of candidates than we've ever seen, and we are seeing the results tonight.
This blue wave comes as a sign of positivity to many Vermont Democrats.
But what we do know is that this is a pivotal moment in American history.
The House is really where a big shift happened in a positive direction from my perspective. And I look forward to seeing how the House and Senate work together, and hopefully with the governor at the table to move some of these issues in a way that we can all work together on.
Democrats feel Vermonters cast their votes on the issues that really matter to them and emphasize that their votes make a difference.
And Vermonters were pretty clear in the choice they made around the issues. And it's great to have choices made around issues and not about the hubbub that we see in other states.
Are we in it together, or is it winner take all and you're on your own? That is the simple question that America is deciding across this land tonight.
But as positive as the night was, U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders had a strong message for Donald Trump and the rest of the Republican Party running things in Washington, D.C.
Our job is to tell this president that we will not tolerate policies which are racist and sexist and homophobic. That all over this country, the American people, led by the state of Vermont, are going to stand up and fight back.
Emma Quinn, News 7, Burlington.
And as the holidays approach us, some members of the community are getting ready to spread some Christmas cheer. News 7's Emma Quinn sat down with one of those people who is using his childhood hobby as a way to celebrate the holidays.
What started out as a childhood hobby
So I had trains when I was a little boy, and I played with them all through high school.
has grown into Tom Turk's way of spreading holiday cheer.
And they decorate this welcome center at Christmas, but as you're aware, it's a train station, an old train station. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be fun to have a Christmas display, a train display in the welcome center at Christmas?
So Turk gathered his old trains, received donations, and with a few friends, they built the display. And 8 years later, the tradition is still going.
Is talking to the adults that come, and they come down and they say, you know, I had trains when I was a kid, or my brother had trains, or my father or my grandfather had trains. They're very nostalgic.
Conductor Turek is always happy to share his hobby with others and spread some holiday cheer.
It's an amazing little hobby, and it's really fun to share it with the community. People come by and they always stop and say, isn't this neat? And they enjoy it.
Emma Quinn, News 7, St. Johnsbury.